Their shot should actually be magnificent when it does happen.
Boy, I wish we had one.
Okay, once again, we are live at the landmark, and we have several reporters on crew. A little bit later, we'll check in with Chopper Tom, who's high above the landmark. We are waiting for them to implode this building. And Jack, you talked to the crew yesterday. They say they're using less than 100 pounds of dynamite.
Yeah, less than 100 pounds, all on the first 4 floors. The technical term they have is kind of a fancy term. They call it eccentric load, but basically what it is, they're cutting the legs out from one side of the building and it's going to fall in that direction. So, yeah, not a whole lot of dynamite needed, and the explosives are being placed inside the walls. The detonating cords are placed inside the walls to ensure that the thing is destroyed completely.
Now, obviously, when this thing comes down, it's going to leave quite a mess. Did you talk to them at all about how long it'll take to clean it up?
They really don't know. It's going to be cleaned up by conventional methods, dump trucks and so forth, and they have no idea. They're worried about bringing the thing down right now, and cleanup will commence as soon as an hour afterwards. Of course, it's going to be a big job to sweep the streets and so forth. They expect initial cleanup to take more than an hour before they reopen Paradise and Convention Center Boulevard.
That's right. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the streets that are closed, and as you mentioned, Jack, they will reopen once again at 7 this morning so business travelers can get around. Let's talk about that right now. Now, here's a map that we've got on the air for you. Take a good look at it. Riviera is shut down from Las Vegas Boulevard to Paradise. Paradise is closed from Desert Inn Road to Karen.
And Convention Center Drive is also shut down from Las Vegas Boulevard to Paradise. The roads should all be open again, as Sue said, by 7 o'clock.
That's right. And as you mentioned earlier, Chopper Tom is up there, too, with Captain Greg up in the air in Sky 3.
Tom, what can you tell us?
Okay, we'll start trying to get a hold of Chopper Tom up in Sky 3, but they have a great vantage point. Here we go. Are we getting ready for the blast, guys? Denise?
We are getting ready, Sue. We're getting ready. We're hearing the all clear. Stand by once again. Try to bring it to you live right here as it happens.
Okay, so we're still not sure. I heard somebody in the background say, okay, get ready. But 30 seconds.
We heard that.
30 seconds away. 30 seconds.
Okay. Sky 3, Tom, what's your vantage point like, Tom? You've got a great vantage point up there.
We are southwest of the landmark right now, and we're looking at it from about 3,500 feet, so we will get an excellent view of it. And, of course, we're going to be rolling videotape on this, so we'll be giving everyone who hasn't woken up yet a view later on. But we are less than 30 seconds away from the implosion. Should be a magnificent sight.
Denise, talk us through this.
And here we go.
Give us your perspective.
It's a magnificent sight, but kind of a sad sight as well, of course, for people who've grown up seeing that for all these years. Same thing with the dunes. You sort of have to be a little bit sad to see it come down because it's been on logos of things having to do with the city for years and years, and now it's basically a pile of dust, a parking lot eventually. But really quite a sight here.
That's right. Denise, on the ground, describe what you're seeing.
Sue, it's amazing. Of course, the cloud of dust is now headed our way, but it hasn't quite reached this point yet. A lot of applause down here on the ground. People thought it was just amazing. It looked like the building just split in half. I'm sure you saw that as well. Cloud of dust moving this way. Too bad I didn't bring a mask with me, I guess.
Well, they let us.
Now, Denise, we heard it. Could you feel it from your point?
I couldn't feel a vibration, but it was
go down
loud.
lower.
It was a lot louder than I really kind of anticipated. I do hope that all those people in the hotel heeded the warning that this was going to happen, because if they weren't awake before, they are definitely awake now. As a matter of fact, up on the Debbie Reynolds Hotel, I see a lot of people out on their balconies all watching, applauding, I guess. It was quite something for both locals and visitors.
What about Jack? What about you from the Riviera? What's going on? Okay, Jack is not there right now. You know, as Tom Hawley mentioned, it is a sad sight. It was a sad sight. It was spectacular, but it is sad to see something like that come down. Another part of Las Vegas history is gone. And I thought it was a gorgeous building. It really stood out in the Las Vegas area, and too bad.
And for a long time, that was the tallest building along the Strip and had the best vantage point for a view. And now it's dust.
That's right, that's right. And, oh, there it is. That's probably the more prop for the movie scene. as Denise had mentioned, is going to be known as the Galaxy Hotel. And of course, Warner Brothers crews are shooting this for a movie called, what was that, Mars Attacks?
Right.
Okay.
And
Denise, what else is going on? Yeah, go ahead.
If you can't hear us now, you can see already now through all the dust here a lot of the rubble from the landmark. Of course, there's a police crew a bit closer than us, but definitely you can see the wreckage at this point, and it is just a pile of concrete and steel. A lot of the dust still spreading though, so hopefully people are having their windows closed if they're by here. It's going to be something to see in about 10 minutes or so when this dust settles. Definitely we're going to have an excellent vantage point from right here.
Hey, Denise, have you talked to anybody who has lived in Las Vegas for a while and their feelings about the landmark coming down?
Yesterday, actually, we did that all day yesterday. I talked to one retired Metro officer who really had some stories about the landmark. He was telling me how back in the early 70s, both the officers and the well-known hoods at the time, everybody hung out at the landmark. Everyone knew one another, and while they didn't necessarily socialize, everyone just happened to gather at the same place. And one of those places was the landmark. A lot of people that worked there were out yesterday. They were taking pictures. They were talking about everything from the buffet to the spectacular view you had when you ate at the restaurant that, of course, used to be at the top of the landmark. And by the way, some people say that the top of the landmark used to turn. I can tell you that that is definitely not true. Originally, it was supposed to, but the mechanism was never put in place, so the top of the landmark never did turn.
Okay, Denise, I think Jack's going to talk to us now. Jack at the Riviera, what's going on over there?
Well, Sue, the cloud of dust has stopped just short of me, thankfully, and when that thing went down, we're on top of a parking garage about 4 stories. It definitely shook. The building, as Denise mentioned, seemed to split almost in half after 2 distinct explosions down below, and then there was the pink flare, a fireworks-looking type of flare that's part of the movie effect. And down it came. The tremendous cloud of dust now covering anything, but not blowing in this direction quite as much as I thought. But the ground definitely shook over here. The crowd down in front of the Hilton is starting to disperse a little bit, and there is not the anticipated rush for souvenirs and debris and so forth that Metro had feared. Right now, everybody seems to be wanting to get out of the way of this cloud of dust, but it was something to see and feel from across the street here in the Riviera parking garage.
Okay, Jack and Denise, we thank you very much. We're going to step aside for a commercial break, but when we come back, we'll check back with everybody on the scene. Stay with us.
A magnificent sight.
Welcome back to News 3 Sunrise, everybody. This special report.
And here we go.
This happened just moments ago, the Landmark Hotel.
Let's watch it come down. Wow. It's amazing to see it again, isn't it? And as Denise and Chomper Tom and Jack Finn were telling us, you could just see it literally breaking in half. There's another view from the ground. Could hear it crashing.
The sparks you saw there were props from a movie being filmed as this is happening. And Denise Roche is live on the scene. Actually, let's go now to Chopper Tom up in the air.
Well, from our perspective, you can clearly see the dust cloud. It's very slowly drifting south. It's a good thing there was hardly any wind this morning, just a very light wind, under 5 miles per hour. But there is a huge dust cloud that's slowly spreading. And Denise mentioned a few minutes ago that the top of the landmark never actually rotated, but I know it did shake once. Actually, back in the late 60s, I believe it was, when it was the tallest building in Las Vegas, a plane actually hit the top of it, somehow managed to hit the top of it, bounced off the top and landed in the rotunda of the convention center. So a little curious incident in the past history of the landmark. But now that and all the other history of the landmark lying in a pile of debris here in the old landmark parking lot.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Tom, it was history, and Denise mentioned the restaurant atop the landmark. Apparently a lot of big-name entertainers used to gather there at the bar, and people like Frank Sinatra, Jimmy Durante. It was a hot spot, and now it is a pile of rubble. Let's go back down on the ground.
Well, Sue, as you can see behind me, a little piece of the landmark, a pretty big section is still visible just behind us. They're putting water. The street sweepers are out cleaning up the mess. If we can take a look at the video one more time, it really is truly spectacular. And while you look at some video, joining me now, Mark Loiseau, who was in charge of the implosion. And tell me, how do you think it went in your estimation?
Well, it went exactly the way we wanted it to. A little bit later than we expected, because Tim Burton, the director of the film, was waiting for that spectacular sunrise over the hills over there. I mean, that's Las Vegas sunrise, can't be beat. And he was waiting for that light to pick up. But the front of the building sheared away as we thought it would, and then the back section rotated over nice and slow for the cameras, and